Hi, my name is Edmonton. There must be 100 new training institutions sprung up in London over the last 18 months. And just in the last 6 months, 4 academies have sprung up. And you see the prices they charge people to teach them to code. £800 for a 10-week course, £1,200 for an 8-week course. It is ridiculous. These kids from Hackney Community College will be into the program will be worth 5 times any graduate from Cambridge or Oxford or one of the best computer science programs in Southampton. Why? Because they're not learning theory. They're not sitting in a coffee shop shooting the breeze. 3 or 4 days a week, they're doing production. Basically saying we just need a new literacy. For example, one of the prime competencies that we need in the 21st century is to be able to interact with screen-based systems, because almost everything we do now is on screen. Your 5 or 6 year old kid is alert already, because she knows how to manipulate the mobile phone. And from the mobile phone, she goes to the iPad, from the iPad to the laptop, from the laptop to the desktop, to the Nintendo, to the PlayStation, to the, just see what I'm getting at. Your relationship to the acquisition and utilization of knowledge is through a screen. What I'm saying now, we got to, it's no longer the 3 R's. I know schools have ceded power to the corporations in terms of how children see the world. We need to demystify this idea of coding. It's, one time, 5 years ago, most government ministers never heard the word. They had no idea what it meant. Suddenly it's the darling word, it's the in word, the flavor. Everybody's spouting coding, and it just makes me sick because they don't know what they're talking about. All it is your ability to instruct a machine, which you call a computer, and it could be a mobile phone, to do something. That's all it is. There's nothing very mysterious than that. It is your ability to talk to a machine and tell this machine what you want it to do. And this machine will do it. That's stupid. Just follows instructions, that's all it does. Your ability to speak to machines and to let machines do what you want them to do will give you an edge over those who cannot do it.
I now work for a company called Creative Skill Set. We're a charity. We've been going for nearly 25 years. And we raise funds for the creative industries. We work with the creative industries. Last year alone, we raised £20 million for that sector. Okay, very quickly, a little bit about the creative industries. It's the largest growth sectors since the recession. There's lots of research that's been carried out that picks that up. In terms of the London picture, just gives you a quick snapshot of how many people are actually employed in the creative industries in London. So over half a million. London's a big hitter. A third of UK's creative industries is based in London. Only about 10% the sector is actually large companies. A lot of those jobs are higher level jobs as well. So they tend to start, the vast majority of them, graduate level. So there are level 2 type jobs there are level 3 jobs there as well, but there are also a lot of kind of high level jobs there, particularly around the new media roles, around the roles that are around sort of coding and data analytics. Freelance working is common. A lot of the work is project work. So as a company, you get a contract in and you get a piece of business, it's a start and finish, and you've done it. So some people may be employed by the company on a permanent basis. The likelihood is they're either temporary or freelance. So again, we're going against the norm. So you're not your traditional business model. It is competitive. It's competitive to get into. However, there are skills gaps. There are huge skills gaps. I've already mentioned coding. Gaps around analytics, even your online TV, your iPlayer, Channel 4, online, you're on demand, you see the adverts in the middle and they're interactive. There's all people always behind that determining your buying habits. It's a huge growth sector. And lots of jobs coming up over the next 5-10 years. No one knows what they're going to be. If you look at London, the amount of courses that are available through the colleges, through the non-formal learning sector, it's huge. However, not all of those actually meet the industry standards. So if we look at the old media around sort of TV, film, there's lots of people, everybody wants to be in TV and film. But then on the other side, if you look at the new media, there is also a shortage of jobs. It's all about networks. people tend to recruit within those networks. There's nothing that's really formalised. Apprenticeships are a new baby for them. Nothing's really structured. It's all about informal recruitment. You recruit through a friend of a friend. It's unpaid internships are endemic. It's a huge problem. It's something we do a lot to try and counteract. Diversity is awful. I work a lot, Josh will tell you as well, I work a lot in Shoreditch, and it's predominantly young white guys that went to university doing their own thing, and it's really, really dire. It's really dire. Big movements around women in tech, big movements around stuff like the sort of thing that Anthony is doing as well. We can build on stuff that's being done. There is stuff that's being done. You've seen Anthony speak, you've seen Josh speak as well, mentioned Croydon. There's lots happening around Shoreditch, around Tech City. There's lots happening around here, East and the Olympic Park. There is some infrastructure there. We don't need to reinvent the wheel, Edmonton. There are things happening already that we can tap into. We can use their learnings and bring them here. Diversity is on the map. You might have heard a while ago someone from the BBC say, one of the chiefs from the BBC saying the BBC is hideously white. They've been shamed into acting. The TV industry have finally come together and for the first time ever are now beginning to collect diversity stats and have something, not specifically quotas, but very, very similar, to the point where they're starting to fall over themselves. For every production, they need to have 1 or 2 black faces working for them, and they're struggling, they can't find the talent. So there's a lot of work being done, so they're actually coming together and actively looking for black talent. Huge area to be exploited, and there are apprenticeships in digital marketing, and they're not high level. You can come in at slightly lower level. There are high level apprenticeships being developed in the computer games industry, for animation, for visual effects at the moment, which is sort of beyond stream. There is an existing advanced apprenticeship in creative and digital media, which I helped create with the whole creative space 3 years ago. So they are there, and there are more and more coming on board. What we need to do is to make sure we've got the vision coming closer to Edmonton, or at least people recruit, those training guys recruited.
I'm Eileen Moore. I'm the co-founder of Digital Marketing London, and we are one of those awful training institutes that train people up in super quick time. We basically teach clients to do their own digital marketing. So this is the reality. So recently O2 carried out a study, and it shows that 750,000 digital workers are going to be needed by 2017. I mean, that's very similar to the number that I showed you before, and I'm just wondering, where is this disconnect? Why are these people unemployed when we're out here applying for skills? And that's why, at the end of the day, as nice as it is to go in and do your training and everything else, that is actually all they care about. What am I going to get at the end of this? You know, what is the job? What is my salary? You know, what is my pay? 60% of young people want to work in either science, technology, engineering or maths, but couldn't actually give you a job description or job title. They don't know what those jobs are. And I think in the digital industry we are slightly, I think, to blame, because there is a lot of smoke and mirrors around what it is that we do. There's this big myth around what coding is. They just need to know what it is and how it's going to benefit them. It's as simple as. You know, someone came in, thank you, Colin, someone came in to do some training at work recently. And I laugh about it because he came in with this amazing package, and you know, he was going to come and tell us why the new algorithms that Google are running are so important for our business, and we're a big brand and we need to make sure that we can be seen and we can be found. And he was amazing. The presentation was whizzing in, everything was, you know, on point. The one question he asked at the end, or was asked at the end, and this is a senior management team, which he didn't address at the beginning, was, what is an algorithm? He spent 20 minutes pitching us his new business, and no one in that room was brave enough to ask us until the end. And I think this is part of the problem with digital, is that we're so busy talking about digital and what it, you know, what it is, and this amazing thing, that we're not actually telling young people what it means for you and what job you can go in and what you can do on a day-to-day. And for me, that is part of the problem, and why they don't feel that they want to apply for these jobs, or they feel like it's too senior, or it's too, I'm not smart enough. I hear this a lot when I do the Girls' Sister Circle. I'm not smart enough. Is this job really for people like us? When you do something, your interview starts on Facebook. When I get CVs at work, the first thing I do is go on your Facebook to see if you can represent my brand. I do believe in apprenticeships. I started off at Revlon with no experience. I didn't even know BTPR existed, and I was there for 12 months, and this woman gave everything to me. She, on the job, told me to go out, do events and learn and make my mistakes quickly and get on with it. And that is, I do believe that is how you work now. But unfortunately, businesses don't have that time anymore. Everyone's under so much pressure. And the feedback that we get from universities, schools, teachers, is that by the time they've taught them their marketing curriculum, it's out of date. By the time you've walked out of school, it's out of date. And so that's why when we provide courses, we try and run them in 5 days with actual lecturers that are telling you, this is not the best practice, this is what I did yesterday, and this is what happened. Get your computer out and let's try it. And I think it's that blend of the reality and the theory is the way that when you look at future trends, this is the way that young people are going to respond to learning. It needs to be real world, real time, with real results, otherwise they just drop off and lose interest.
If you want something to happen, you will make it happen. And we've got young people on the streets, don't know what to do, no direction. What are we talking about? There's going to be jobs, opportunities in the digital and technology industry. We've got 35% of the black youth in Edmonton unemployed because we want to give our young people the opportunities in digital marketing so they can go and get the jobs in Old Street. Sometimes it's not all about money. What can we do for our young people?